Hello, Frankie Arnold here. I'm doing a video on Indiana Severe Weather Preparedness / Awareness Week, which is March 13th through March 19th of 2011. I'll take you through the different scenarios, tornado watches and warnings. There's a difference between a tornado watch and a tornado warning. A lot of people get that confused, and that's not good. So first of all, a tornado watch means conditions are favorable for the development of severe thunderstorms that could produce tornadoes. It doesn't necessarily mean there's going to be a tornado, but it means conditions are favorable for severe weather to develop. So it's basically telling you to watch out. That's how you remember that. Tornado watch. You got to watch out for it. Prepare to take action if a tornado warning is issued. Now, what is a tornado warning? That's different. That's a much higher level and much higher imminent threat. It means a tornado has been sighted or detected on Doppler radar, and it usually produces a signature much like this. You'll see a little hook at the end, usually the southwest or western edge of the storm cell, and that indicates where the tornado is, right in that area. And that circulation likely to produce a tornado under it. This is the base velocity. If you see a little signature with bright red and bright green right next to each other, well, there's winds going from west to east on the green part, but on the red area here, it's going from the opposite direction, east to west, which indicates a strong circulation and potentially a very defined tornado underneath of that. So remember, whenever you see a signature like this or like that on a Doppler radar, anywhere near your area, even if there's not a tornado warning, if you see a signature like that, you need to take cover, and especially if there's a tornado warning. You don't want to make a joke out of it. It's very serious. 70% of severe weather-related deaths and injuries do occur because people do not heed the warnings, and it's very crucial. It doesn't work if you don't heed the warnings. In order for them to be effective, you must do your part and take proper precaution. So what do you look for when there's supposed to be a tornado, when there's a tornado warning? How do you know that? A lot of people, it's just the human nature. They want to go outside and verify. That's if you're even serious about tornado warnings, which you should be. If you see a signature like that in the sky, you better get inside, because that's a wall cloud, and a tornado is going to, if it's going to form, that's where it's going to come from, right in the middle of that wall cloud. So if you see a signature like that up in the sky, get to shelter immediately. Now, what does it look like on radar when you see severe thunderstorms? Not necessarily tornadoes, but say a squall line with damaging winds and hail, and sometimes leading edge can spin up some tornadoes. Looks a little bit like that. We've had a lot of those come through the area last year that produce very strong winds, heavy rains, and sometimes hail and quite a bit of cloud-to-ground lightning, which can also be deadly. Now, that's a signature you'll look in the sky. It's called a shelf cloud on the leading edge of the strong to severe thunderstorms. That shelf cloud, usually once that gets over you, you'll have a very strong push of winds, which is called a gust front. Sometimes they can gust 60, 70, 80 miles per hour or even higher, depending on how strong the complex of severe thunderstorms is. Well, behind that shelf cloud, you'll get very heavy rain and continued gusty winds, especially if it's a mesoscale convective system, which you do continue to see gusty winds behind the squall line. Not only can it create damage, it can create a lot of lightning, which can start fires, and if people are outside, it can strike you a lot easier than you think. And heavy rains can also lead to flash floodings. So if you see that in the sky, that's an indication of a line of severe thunderstorms, not necessarily a supercell capable of producing a damaging tornado. And lastly, lightning safety. Whenever there's a thunderstorm, severe or not, you should stay indoors and away from windows. If your outdoor activities are going on, you want to get indoors. If you hear the minute you hear thunder, you want to get indoors, because lightning can strike 10 miles to as much as 15 miles from the apparent thunderstorm. Unplug valuable electronic devices such as your computer, your TV, because lightning can travel through your electronic system and damage those. Do not use wired devices like wired phones. A cell phone's okay because it's not wired, but if you're using a landline, that's very dangerous. You can be struck. Avoid standing or running water, okay? So do not take a shower when there's a thunderstorm. It can travel through the water and shock you that way. That's happened before. Vehicles are safe shelter from lightning, not the tires, okay? Listen to this very carefully. The tires do not protect you from the lightning. It's the metal around the car that protects you. In order for lightning to be protective against you with your tires would have to be a mile thick, because it's the metal protects you. It acts kind of like our lightning rod. And if no shelter, avoid trees and crouch down on your knees, much like a tornado position. Because if there's no, if you're out there and there's nothing around you, you're going to be the object that's liable to be struck. So you got to crouch down as low as you can. That's if you ever come upon these situations. You should take them very seriously. Whenever there's any kind of severe weather warnings or watches issues, you should heed them, because eventually, one of these days, you may not take it as serious as you should, and it could cause disaster. So that's Indiana's Severe Weather Preparedness Week information. You can visit www.weather.gov/Chicago for more information.